Just finished this Tennessee Arms Polymer lower. I have some 80% lowers coming in that we're gonna have some fun with soon, but we put a cheapo parts kit in it that I got at the gun show for $30 last night. And just kind of wanted to go over a couple of issues we had that were really no big deal, but if I hadn't put a couple of aluminum lowers together, that I might not have had the confidence that I have now. But everything, the kit fit nicely, everything moves well. The magazine release and the bolt catch moves freely and smoothly, and of course there's a little movement in there, but that's acceptable. You kind of expect that. The fit here is pretty good. I had to push the handle up on there. It didn't just slide right on, but that was okay. The main issue we had was with the safety. The detent was not going up in the hole. There's a hole like right here that you put the detent in, then a spring right here, and the detent just wasn't going up high enough. And at first, we had realized that the cheapo parts kit I had, the detent that came with it, is a little fatter on the end, and it wouldn't slide up in that hole where the detent and the spring goes. It wouldn't slide in there. So we got the Dremel, and we kind of tried to reduce the size just to see if it would go. And we did get it to go, but it still wasn't going in quite far enough up in here to really engage the grooves on the safety, like you can see right here, the way those grooves are. It didn't go up in there far enough to really give a nice crisp lock and safety and off safety. And there's a little play here, but I've seen that on lots of ARs. But before, the play was like that. But almost that far down. So what I did was I got the smaller detent that I had that fit in there pretty well, and then there's a little stop in the hole where it gets smaller, and that little wider end of the detent stops it from going any further. I just made that a little deeper with a drill bit using my fingers and then eventually a pair of pliers. So I wasn't putting high speed, it was just slow. This is plastic. And so I just made that where it was a little deeper, and the detent was sticking up a little further in there, and that took care of it. Once that's nice and firm there. And we polished the trigger up like we always do. We had a little issues getting the trigger in, but that was more just us messing around. I was over at a buddy's house, and we didn't have all the right tools with us, so we were using different tools. So it took us a little longer than it normally takes me. But the trigger's pretty good. Cheap $30 parts kit. Still has a heavy trigger pull, but we got it pretty crisp. And there's very little creep. We got the sear engagement like glass with a Dremel and some buffing rouge. And you see it just has a little creep. Then it's just real nice and crisp, no grit to speak of. Put some G96 lube on there. That stuff works great. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased. I'm excited to put an upper on this and see how it does, and then eventually do our lower, 80% lower, and then compare it to this and see how it does. All right, thanks.